All right, welcome back everybody. We're here and we want to talk about your client's data, which is absolutely gold to you guys and probably the most important aspect of your business. Okay, so the question here today, and I'm going to be pulling up my screen here and stuff, is why do we want your client data? And there's a few different answers to this, but the number one reason and the only reason that really matters is to help you guys run a better business. It's to keep you guys out of trouble. It's to help you guys add more value to your clients. It's all this kind of stuff. And that is absolutely imperative and super important to us.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do right now is go through some of the places that we are collecting this data, give you an idea of what we're talking about and what we're asking for. And then we'll mention some of the places that we're hoping to use this to give you a much more efficient marketing and business system, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's start with where are we collecting your client's data right now? And there's a couple places. Number one, on Best My Nest, we obviously to sign your client up in order to actually send out the Best My Nest information. Obviously, we need your client data. So another one where we're getting it, and so Jordan, if you could switch over my screen here, is our Submit a Listing button. So on the virtual office here, under Submit a Listing, and you go to the Submit a Listing form. This form has been updated recently, and it's very similar, but at the bottom here now, we are asking for your seller's information. Now, why would we be doing that? I'm just going to zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit clearer. Now, why would we be doing that? Well, the first reason is legalities. Believe it or not, but we've had times that realtors aren't getting back to us, and we need to send the client information to the lawyers so the lawyers can contact them to get the actual deal closed. And because you haven't filled out the contract or whatever reason there, so we have to make sure that we have the correct data on our files because the client is actually a client to the brokerage. Now, let it be known that unless it's to fulfill our legal obligation as a brokerage, we will never, ever be contacting your clients. Your clients are your clients, and we're very happy for that. Now, there is another button on here, taking you back to the screen, is I want to have this person's address added to my database for future marketing. You can simply click on yes, and now by giving their contact information, this is going to be stored in a CIR client list, which we're going to show in a second here. But you can also just say right from here, don't have to take another step. Please send my client a Best My Nest membership. Yes. If their client current address is the same as listing address, you can just click this off and it will absolutely auto-populate over, so you guys are totally fine. You don't need to worry about that. But please send my client a Best My Nest membership right there. It's going to make it super, super easy for you guys to take part in various programs to continue to add value to your clients. Okay, so here's the big picture of this and where we're going with this, because right now it's your listing form, but we're also going to be adding it to the trade record form as well. Actually, Jordan, while you're there, I'll just quickly show the trade record sheet. Currently, in Enter a Sale, when you go in and enter a sale, I'm just going to go to regular trade record sheets. And you scroll down. The only thing we require here is the seller and the buyer's name. We're going to actually have it where you'll have a drop down that if you had the listing, it will pull in your client's information. So that makes it super easy. And in addition to that, we're going to have it where we then ask for the client's email and phone number in case we need to send it to a lawyer. That's the reason those are mandatory. But we're also going to have it where you can put in the buyer's address as well. And this is going to help us with post-client follow-up as well. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're smart enough to know that obviously if your client moved, is that going to be their permanent address or not? So we're going to be capturing all that as well. So let's talk about the big picture.
We recently had, I just want to mention, and I want to say thank you to people who email us in ideas about better ways to do things. Natalie Berthium emailed me last week with the suggestion that on the buyer's forms, could we have something that says, yes, I want this client added to Best My Nest. Can the package be sent after possession date? With a little box, because we know what those dates are. And because there's a lot of concerns where what if they're moving and they're not going to be, and for buyers, how do I? So great suggestion,
yep.
Not super tough programming. So little things like that, if you guys have some easy ways that we can help make our systems easier for you to use, let us know and we'll definitely look into implementing them. That was a great suggestion, Natalie.
Cool. So another thing we're going to be asking for on the trade record sheet is your client's birth date. Now, all of you are filling out FinTrack, and love it or hate it, FinTrack is a necessary requirement. The way that we track your business relationships with your client, i.e. have they done 2 or more transactions, is through your client's name and birth date. So that's the way FinTrack requires it. So by having your client's birthday, it's going to allow us to do a couple things. Number one, I was going to know number 2. Number 1, we start off by being able to identify if there was a business relationship, in which case you have to say, what the previous transactions were all about. It can be some simple notes, but FinTrack requires it. And number 2, since we have your client's birth date now, what we're going to do is send you a notification when it's your client's birthday. So the other cool part is that we have all this data going back to 2014. So in the past 4 years, we're going to go back and let you know when it's your client's birthday. Even better, to add on to that, since we also have the close date and the possession date, we'll be able to notify you of their home ownership anniversary. So now, since we have that, we'll email you, not the client, this information. And if you want, you're going to be able to click off automatedly and say, hey, why don't you email my client this birthday card or this birthday post or whatever it is, or this happy anniversary post. With any questions, call me. And the beauty of this now is that we believe in promoting you, not the brokerage. We want to have it where your individual excellence shows through. So these emails are going to be completely customized to you, that you guys will be able to set up, or you can have a generic one, but it's going to be coming from you. If you want, you can opt in to participate in that.
Right, but the point is, unless you opt in for us having your data, we won't be able to do any of these things for you. And to Lindsay's point, we never send anything to your client unless you want us to. But if nothing else, at least we can let you guys know so that you can be adding to those touch points throughout the year in a really meaningful way that people will be like, wow, can't believe they remember it's my birthday. I can't believe that they remember it's my 10-year home anniversary.
Perfect. Yeah, and those are things that you guys should be doing. So here's our mentality with this, and I'm going to give you even more of the future of what's coming here. And pieces, when I say the future, we're talking like basically almost by the end of the year, by the end of January for sure here. So there are so many CRM softwares out there, client relationship management systems. There's Google Contacts, there's Prospects, there is Top Producer, there's iExact Contact, there's all these other things. Yet for some reason, with all these available tools, realtors are still having a tough time keeping in touch with their database. So I'm going to submit to you that what you need is not another CRM. Everyone's looking for another CRM. It's like you can't use the ones existing.
That are free, right?
That's
now.
right. And you still have a problem. So how can we say that, a 15th CRM or a 16th CRM is going to be the thing that finally makes me keep in touch with my contacts? So what we're doing is this, is when you guys will have the option to give us your client's contact information. So Jordan, throw the slide here. What we're calling not a CRM, but a CIR client list. So your CIR client list is going to be something that we carry and hold on to. So we'll have your Best My Nest contacts, we'll have the past transactions you've done, and if you want to upload more, or you want to have us upload them for you, we will do that. And now we can have it where if we're going to do a holiday mail out, if we're going to do a Best My Nest event or any other thing that you can use as a touch base to your clients. Stampede party. You can just select on who you want to send stuff out to, and it's going to happen automatically. You don't have to print off the card. You don't have to send the emails. We'll do it all for you automatically, coming from you. And for those of you that want your custom branding, we'll do that for you as well. Mm-hmm. So that's totally optional. But we try to make this so easy. So we end up taking that client marketing and do it on your behalf. The last thing that I want to talk about with that is that gives us the possibility to do post-sale follow-up if you want. You don't have to participate. You guys can opt out anytime, whatever you want. But now we can do it where we send your clients the documents after the fact. We'll touch base with some moving checklists and post-sale follow-up to follow up at 1 month, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year to make sure that everything's going okay. And then now you look like a superstar without lifting a finger.
And obviously all of that is, again, branded to you, coming from your email address.
Totally.
It's not coming from the brokerage, it's coming from you.
Yeah. And if you don't want us to have your client information, obviously we need to keep the stuff for our transactions and stuff, but it's fine. delete your client list. You know, we don't care. Like, it's legitimately just to say, hey, how can we add more legitimate value to you guys?
I think that's nice about the way that the client list is going to work as well, is that we're going to have it so that every deal you do, for the information we have from every deal you do, will automatically go into that list no matter what. So even if you don't add any additional data, by the end of a year, by the end of 2 years, you'll actually have the data for every single client you've done a transaction with in a really easy to find way. So it's something no matter what, which oftentimes people are thinking, you know, who should I send a Christmas gift to? Who's my A-list? Well, you can look back and say, you know, we've worked with some realtors who have 500 people in their phone, and for them to say, you know, who are my actual clients can get a little bit confusing. So at the very least, you'll be able to see this client list spelled out for you really easily.
Yeah, and again, this is not a CRM. This is not a place where you're going to track you know, your to-dos and everything else like that. And it's like, remember that CRM that you're using? Still use it on the other side, but has this as a component piece where think of it as your concierge. And there's going to be a healthy combination of free services, obviously the emails and things like that. If you need it customized, as in you're putting your brand, your graphics on there, there's going to be an extra fee for that. And then a combination of paid services, which is obviously if we send something in the mail, we got to cover postage and things like that and our time to get it sent out. But you guys will be able to take advantage of this despite where you're at with the marketing budgets and stuff in your business, which is, we just love it because we want to automate the value you give to your clients. If you're not willing to do it, not willing, but you don't have the time to do it, which most realtors don't, we want to take that on for you.
And I think I want to mention as well in terms of giving us your data, this is similar to me as, you know, you're putting your client's information in prospects. And now Prospects has it, or you're putting your client's information in MailChimp, and now MailChimp has it. If you're going to trust anyone with your client's name and email address, I mean, it should probably, I mean, if you're giving it to something like Prospects, I don't want to say we're 100% safe, or Prospects is equally as safe, but we're not going to do anything with it either. It's just a tool.
Yeah, and regarding Castle compliance, I know I can just
Feel
based off
chat.
rating our Facebook feed, I just know the stuff that's going to come up here. It's like, yeah, do you have your client's permission to put them into Google or Prospects or Matrix even, for that matter? Well, your client, when you do a transaction with us or they opt in, we get permission, implied consent to send them out something. Now, we're going to have unsubscribes on there, absolutely. And if you want to send out extra information, yes, you need to have consent from them to send out electronic communication.
Yes.
If they've already done a transaction with us, that gives implied consent for a period of time, but we're going to track all that. And you know, we believe we have a fiduciary duty as a brokerage to act in your best interest.
Yeah.
And anything that we do is on that governing principle. There's enough people sitting around on a daily basis that are just like, how can we make your lives easier? And that's literally our MO.
And as far as, you know, the Castle compliance stuff, the stuff we're thinking here is you're going to send somebody a personal email wishing them a happy birthday, right? Like that is not, we're not talking mass newsletters we're sending out to 500 people right now that haven't opted in. Like this is meant to be extremely personal, customized based off of your transaction, the home you live in, the community you live in, one-on-one. So this is, yeah, we got the Castle thing and we're experts at it. We wouldn't compromise anybody.
One more thing I want to mention just before we sign off on this one is our database concierge. That's going to be available in another month or so. We've done some testing on it, but this concept is basically, it's like, well, Lindsay, I don't have a database, and that's a lot of realtors. So we have like 100 realtors sign up to do our holiday mail-out cards, and only 26 actually get their contacts over to us because the other 80 don't have a clean database to send us. So we will go into your phone, we will go into your past transactions, we will go into everything to assemble all your data. You guys, choose who you want based off looking at the sheets and whose information is up to date, and then we'll scrub it for you, clean it, and then put it in here so that you guys actually have a way to start marketing people, to start adding value. And I want to say adding value more than marketing because that's what it's all about.
Perfect. So I think we want to end on one note. So there is a spot on here where you have an option to send your seller information to AdWorks. We want to touch on AdWorks for just a few seconds. Lindsay, if you want to pull that up.
Sure. The AdWorks section?
Yeah.
All right, so back to our, if you click off, if this is an MLS listing.
If we could put the screen up, Jordan. Thank you.
Thanks. If this is an MLS listing, then this AdWorks disclaimer comes up saying, hey, this listing we'll be going to AdWorks, which you can obviously opt out of. And you have some different options here. Option number one is opt-in, but obviously opt-in pure, in which case your seller's email will be sent so they can see the ad online. Opt-in, but exclude the seller's email. So this way, they can opt out and talk to your sellers. Like, hey, we're going to put your ad, we're going to do some online advertising. That is a requirement. If you're going to list someone's property, you have to advertise it online.
Absolutely.
Period. It's like, welcome to 2018.
Yeah.
So if you guys have your own system of doing that, that's fine. Opt out. If you don't, let us help. So you have to click off saying you've read this. You can learn more about AdWorks, but talk to your seller and just say, and we're going to make sure that you're on the campaign so you see your ad. Is that fair? They say, yes, you have consent. And then you can opt in but exclude seller's email, and you can opt out completely. Either way, it's there. We just want to make it easy for you. Now, go ahead.
One of the things that's a little bit fun as well about choosing to include the seller email, so AdWorks doesn't contact your seller. All of that means that during the 1-week listing campaign, your seller will receive a report letting them know how many impressions, how many people have seen the ad. One thing that's nice about that as well is that they have the opportunity to share the ad when they see it, which is a bit fun because that means that they can expose their ad to their whole sphere of influence and the people in their community as well. So there is a big benefit of letting them have access to that ad too.
Yeah, and a couple things just really quickly on AdWorks. Number one, we're going to do a video on best practices for editing your ad. I gave some examples on the Facebook feed. There was some questions about AdWorks on there as well. And
we're also going to make sure that there was some concern that, that maybe our realtors are seeing the ads too many times. I do know for a fact that one of the things that AdWorks does is make sure that other realtors in the community are seeing the ads, because the people that are going to be booking showings for your listings, chances are realtors, so they're trying to put your listings a little bit more front and center. But if there is something unproportionate where our agents are seeing those ads more than they should be, I don't know how this works, but we will be chatting with AdWorks today to make sure that that is not the case. So either way, that's that on that note.
Yeah, make sure you guys take a look at that feed, because you guys are going to want to customize your ads and make sure you have it linking back to a place to capture client information and make your ads compelling, please, please, please.
Yeah.
So I'll show you guys how to do that though. This week we'll send out a video on that and we will go from there. I am so excited when we look at all the things that you guys have to do in the day for your business. Obviously, touching base with your clients is number one. We want to help take the load off of that, because we believe that's what's actually going to make a difference in your business. Again, you can have the fanciest CRM in the world, but if you don't use it, then the results are zero, and I see it's a plague that's rampant in the real estate business. So let us help you guys, and you can opt out at any time, and it's going to be awesome.
That's that. Well, thanks for tuning in and listening to that. If you have any questions about anything you heard, please feel free to email Lindsay or myself if you have any great ideas that you think that we could potentially investigate as we go down this road. Email us as well. Most of the good things we implement come from you guys, so we like hearing your voices.
Totally.
And that's it. And we will be right back with our next segment.
Cool.